My name is Sacha Stone, and I am an intellectual terrorist. At least that's what I view the work that I'm involved in, is challenging the status quo. You can't achieve consciousness unless you are very actively moving against the tide of the status quo, because the status quo is always the mean average, and the mean average is always the unconscious. We've been asleep psycho-civilizationally and psychoculturally for a very long time. And all of those race wars and blood economy has emerged out of that. And we've reached the point, I believe, where we're fitfully awakening from that galactic sleep and breaking into the galactic day. I don't even know what an activist is, even though I'm tagged as one. But I think it's connected to, again, not soliciting permission for everything and not really giving a damn what the government sanctions or doesn't sanction, or what the establishment sanctions or doesn't sanction. The elevation of art and beauty and consciousness over time and money and fear as a signature to one engaging one's own sovereign expression, stepping outside of the informed reality or the hologram, and stepping into a space where it's a great deal more quantum, and one can begin to engage the life that one wants to live, as opposed to the one that was spoon-fed to one. So Ancient Future speaks to both sides of the indivisible line. The indivisible line, of course, being you and I, and past and future, both being effectively the same thing. When we interweave them back into the 0 point, the Atman, which is the moment here and now, if we fully engage our consciousness as we are in this conversation, then the past is immaterial and the future is immaterial. So the ancient future, as an idea, as a totem, speaks to that indivisible line of becoming very present in the now and defining the reality that we want to define, and going forth and manifesting it. So as a concept for a festival, it's powerful because it creates the perfect mirror. It says, who are you? And how do you define your life and reality? And how can you purpose your consciousness in action and elevate your own sense of creativity and expansion of creativity in order to bloom to your highest potential? The Ancient Futures Festival was really configured around an understanding of critical Vedic wisdom and understanding the elements. So we began with day one focused on Tara, on earth, and on grounding, on anchoring, on being very present. Healthy living, healthy food is very much the same thing as everything you put in your body ultimately speaks to your health. We do everything we can here. We're certainly not perfect, but we're doing everything that we can to ensure that it's sort of from seed to table and that it's purely organic and what have you. The second day moved into the water element, which is conflict resolution, healing, health and wellness and what have you. The water that we have here is some of the best water you're likely to find anywhere in the world. And we draw volcanic water out from our own well, and then that gets put through ultraviolet and into our biopool after having been filtered through various botanicals and charcoal. And then it's infused with magnesium, and it's colloidalized with copper and with silver, and it's also fed through our very unique water structurizer technology, and then it is ozonated. So you're talking about a water molecule in the New Earth Haven biopool that is probably the most structurized, consciously structurized water molecule in the world. I don't know anyone else who's bundling all of those technologies in to ensuring that the water molecule is as alive and purposeful as it can be. Once you do that to water, and you activate the water, so to speak, and it then connects into your body, well, the antenna goes out. So you've automatically begun the process of perfect application of perfect health and wellness. And day 3 moved into air, which is more transmission of ideas and the seeding of ideas. So talking about conscious community and about the mechanics of actually beginning to seed conscious communities around the world. So the business then becomes, so how does one sustain a conscious community? And it forces us into looking at the whole systems of life and how we need to begin to rebuild and reappoint our lives and the way that we construct our lives. So bioarchitecture becomes then a seminal issue. What kind of structures do we want to spend our time in? Do we want to live in concrete bunkers, or do we want to live in beautiful bioarchitected bioresonant domes made out of, lang-a-lang and bamboo and, beautiful bioresonant materials? Obviously, the answer is the latter. So if anyone pursues the business of conscious community, you very quickly arrive at the need to become very ecological and very self-sustaining. So it's a beautiful thing once you step into this business of stepping outside of the grid. You really have to begin to address all the different aspects of life. The 4th day was engaging the element of fire and spirit together, which is when you move into absolution, redemption, transcendence, effectively, transcendence and transmutation of all the lower elements into the highest, which becomes consciousness in action. So to that extent, the Ancient Futures Festival was really looking at how can you walk in on day 1 and walk out on day 5, having moved through something of a symphony or a whole systems approach to the condition of people and planet. Everything is issues from spirit, and everything returns to spirit. That much is the 1 + 1 = 2 that we can all be sure of. Conscious living, by definition, is stepping outside of indentureship to fictions, to false light, and stepping into organic, sentient, creative expansion. We need to transcend culture, be clear about that. We need to transcend nation. We need to transcend all of the artifice of boundaries and of enclosures, because it's those very things which have separated us. But I think we've arrived at the point as a human family where there is but one modality that we need to engage, which is the transcendence of all borders and enclosures. That was the signature that we set, and that's certainly what prevailed.